All right, welcome in everybody. John from Pack and Paddle here with our new Hobie team member, Jacob Oldenburg. Welcome, Jacob.
Thank you, sir.
Glad you're on the team and
Glad to
happy
be
to have
here.
you as part of Pack and Paddle. It's
Glad
awesome.
to be here.
Jacob's a long-time kayak fisherman, has fished the Bass Trail for a number of years and is an avid bass fisherman. So when he brought his boat in, he's getting a new boat and we're going to transfer some of the stuff over. And before we took this all apart, I told him, hey, let's take a video and let's show people how you have your boat set up, where you keep your things, what you bring, how you have it set up, and maybe you'll learn a couple things from this guy. So I'm going to grab the camera and then we're just going to talk through the boat and make this happen. So Jacob, tell everybody where you're from.
I am from Willis, Texas, which is north of Houston by Lake Conroe.
Okay, cool. And you tend to specialize in bass fishing?
Bass fishing is my go-to.
Cool, awesome. Okay, so what we're gonna do, Jacob's got a Hobie Pro Angler 360, and he has this thing set up and geared up for some serious bass fishing. So I think we'll just start at the front and work our way back and talk about how he's got this thing set up. So starting at the front, Jacob's got a anchor wizard. So why don't you tell us about your anchoring and kind of what your strategy is when you're anchoring?
So this is my anchor wizard I use. The reel for it is up here. Whenever I get to a spot, I'm more of a power fisherman. I like to move and constantly stay on the move. But if I do get into a good school or something like that, or if I find a spot I want to research a little bit, I will drop this, kind of just let myself drift with the current and position myself that way. Right next to it, I've got my Railblaze and nav lights. This is for safety purposes and for legalities, being on the water, so on and so forth. But super bright light, highly recommend it to anybody getting on the water.
Cool. Yep, and I see you have your Yak Attack net. Is this where you usually keep your net when you're fishing?
When I'm fishing, this is where I generally keep my net, unless I'm first launching in the morning, I'll have it in the back, and then once I get out on the water and start making casts, then I'll move it up and get it ready.
Gotcha. Okay. So where do you put it when it's not here? When it's not right there?
I'll just fold it up and set it on top of my crate back there when I'm kind of going to my first spot.
Okay.
And then once I get to my first spot before I cast, I'll break everything out real quick.
Okay. So you like to keep the net up on the deck so that if you get a fish, it's
easily accessible.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Cool. Why don't you talk to us about your electronic setup here with your Lowrance?
I run a Lowrance HDS 12 fish finder. A lot of my buddies on the trail call it the Disney Plus fish finder because they think I'm over here watching Disney Plus because it's so big. But I love it. Very clear. It makes it super user friendly, and it makes it easy on the water. Just lean forward, touch, set a waypoint. Down scan, side scan, everything is phenomenal that Lowrance produces. So great unit. Highly recommend it.
Great. And do you have any special setup with the transducer, or it's pretty standard, or what's on the bottom?
It's a pretty standard transducer. The Lowrance, the HDS comes with a 3-in-1 transducer, side scan, down scan, and the traditional sonar. So whenever I'm cruising on the lake, I'll have map, side scan, down scan, and traditional sonar, all four going at one time on one screen. Makes it really easy.
So do you have a Burley Pro plate on the bottom, or do you just set that up directly with what comes with the Hobie?
I have a Burley Pro on the bottom as well to protect the transducer.
Okay, cool.
As well as up here for the screen to keep the sun glare off.
Okay. I was noticing this little Yak Attack Roto Grip and wondered what the purpose of that was.
So the purpose of the Roto Grip, up there where I've got my controls for my knobs for my motor in the back, I'll pull it forward and I set that knob right there to hold it in place if I'm ever in super shallow water and I got to get my motor up. That's what I use that for.
All right, now that you brought up the motor, why don't we just jump to the back and let's talk about the motor since you brought that up.
So in the back, this is the Newport Vessels NK180S. It is top speed at 5.5 miles an hour. I've had this thing in super windy, rough water, and it performs phenomenal. I've used it on numerous lakes that are extremely stumpy, and I can tell you right now, this motor can take a beating with no problem, and it performs perfectly every time I take it out on the water.
Okay, and the only thing you needed to mount it was the Hobie power pole plate?
Yes, you need the Hobie mounting plate, and then the bracket comes from Newport whenever you buy the motor.
Okay, why don't you tell us how you have your battery set up?
So my batteries are set up in this case right here. We call this the nuclear football. It's not really a nuclear football, but it's just a joke. Inside I've got two FPV 12 volts, 50 amp hours run in series with fuse right there, and everything connects right here. The motor will actually plug in on this outlet right here, which, I mean, I can't see, so.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we can see it right there.
So motor plugs in right there, good to go, and it keeps everything bone dry, and it keeps it nice and organized.
Cool. Is that a Pelican case?
No, this is not a Pelican case.
Okay, but it's like a Pelican.
It's exact same thing. It's ILAR.
ILAR. Okay.
Amazon Special.
Okay, gotcha. But it does the job, and so the reason that you have your battery mounted in that case and the motor easy to take off and on is what?
I keep the battery in the case. That way, whenever it needs to charge it and everything, it's super easy. Just grab them, take them inside, wherever I'm staying at, charge them up. The motor, I always take it off whenever I'm traveling. If I'm staying somewhere close to the boat ramp, I'll leave the motor on if I'm just running around the corner. But normally when I get off the water, I'm taking the motor completely off.
Cool. Okay, great. Now, I see you have a NRS Chinook. Is that your favorite PFD?
By far. It is very comfortable. It is, I mean, I like it because you know it's there. It's got front pockets. You know, you've got multiple places you can store stuff. You know, keep your, pliers for catching fish. You got your little pockets up front. I use the a phone grip. Forgot what the Rogue. Yes,
Yep.
Thank you. The Rogue, which is outstanding, saved me several times. And then another little pocket to keep accessories and other stuff up there as well.
Great. Why don't you tell us what's in this rear suitcase it looks like you have on the back of your boat?
So this is where I keep all my tackle. It's all organized for whatever specification I'm using. Got to take the family with me everywhere we go. They're always on the trail with me. On this side over here, I have another battery that has, I've got 2 USBs and a 12 volt charging station over here. So when I'm running cameras on the water, or if my phone gets low on battery on the water, I can just turn around real quick, plug it in, charge it up.
Okay, great. Okay, why don't you tell us a little bit about your rod management? What do you do with your rods? See, you got your rods here. So
my rods I put in this rod holder. Me and my buddy Brent Lewis made this. He actually manufactured the football too, but we made this. Rods will obviously go up inside the rod holder. I like this because they're kind of far back. They stay out of my way, but they're still easily accessible if I need to turn around and grab one real quick. And it also gives me the room to open my case up all the way as well, and the reels don't hit the case.
okay, and let me just move the paddle so we can see. So this is PVC pipe. Tell us how you made this.
This is PVC pipe, all purchased at Home Depot, and this is actually a cutting board right here. I think it's a 1/2 inch thick cutting board. Would have split this in two to mount the rod holders onto there, and then we used U-bolts to put everything else on.
So they mount into the Hobie rod holder, and then on the back you've got kind of a kickstand brace right here to just take the extra weight. And I think that's pretty cool because, like you said, getting those rods back away from the seat keeps you from, when you get excited.
Oh yeah.
The minute you get excited, you
do
get
something
that
silly.
tangled up. Yep, for sure. So what about managing your, most of these tournaments are catch, photo, release. So managing your measuring board, and talk about your measuring board, where you keep it, how you have it set up.
So I use my catch board to measure all my fish. I have, this is the 26-inch catch board. I have the, they're mounted on tournament tag holder, so obviously your tournament tag goes in there. And if you catch a behemoth, move your tournament tag. Catch a little one, move it however you need to move it.
Yeah.
And that just slides right here. Normally I have it on a leash, which goes hooks up to my seat, but since we're transferring everything, I already took that off.
Okay. What other things do you have built into your boat that are super cool that you want to share with people?
So this is run off of another FPV 12 amp hour 12 volt 50 amp hour battery, which is actually mounted underneath here.
Okay.
So you come in here and don't look at my mess.
We all have one.
But right here is where the other battery is mounted up inside, and that runs up to the unit itself and powers the unit.
Okay. Got it. All righty. Cool. 50 amp hour. How many days of fishing can you get out of that with that battery?
So with that battery, I can get probably a solid 3, maybe 3.5. FPV makes a phenomenal battery with the
3 to 3.5 what?
days of fishing.
Days of fishing.
Yes, for the unit. Now with the motor and the nuclear football, I can get a solid 2 days of 8 hours of fishing out of it.
Oh, okay.
So I've tested it.
With that battery setup, you're saying you can get a couple of days of fishing out
Yes,
of
sir.
it
Yes,
without
sir.
recharging.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Learned the hard way, but tests that had to be done.
These things happen. Okay, cool. All right. Anything else you want to add about your boat, your setup? You want to talk about the bass trail that you're part of?
This is actually the second year for kayaks. We're going to be starting off at Lake Fork this year. That'll be February 5th and 6th. And then don't ask me where we go next. I know I've got it all written down somewhere, but I already forgot. But yeah, we got a great tournament trail this year. We've got the Bassmaster Classic for kayaks that's happening this year as well. So it's going to be an exciting season in 2022, and I'm glad to have Pack and Paddle behind my back and working as a team with you guys.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, Jacob. Enjoyed going through your boat with you, and we'll look forward to seeing how it goes this year.
It's going to be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.